What if the person you trusted to take care of you was planning your death for money? Would you ever suspect someone so seemingly kind and caring? Today, we dive into the shocking story of Dorothea Puente, the woman who ran a boarding house in Sacramento, California, and murdered her tenants for financial gain. Stay with us till the end to uncover how she hid her crimes for years. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss stories like this one. Dorothea Helen Puente was one of America's most notorious killers, not because of physical brutality or public rampages, but because of her cunning, calculated, and terrifying method of exploiting the most vulnerable. Over a decade, she ran a boarding house in Sacramento, California, catering mostly to elderly and disabled tenants. Behind the welcoming smile and the carefully maintained house, she plotted one of the most chilling crimes in American history. She killed her tenants and collected their Social Security checks. This is a story of greed, manipulation, and murder hidden beneath the facade of normalcy. Early life. Dorothea Puente was born on January 9, 1929, in Redlands, California. Her early life was troubled. Her father died when she was young, and she endured physical and emotional abuse at home. As a teenager, Dorothea ran away and was later diagnosed with mild mental disability. She married and had a daughter, but her early adulthood was marked by criminal activity. In the 1950s and 1960s, Dorothea had already committed fraud, theft, and other petty crimes. She spent years in and out of prison. Her criminal tendencies evolved over time, but the idea of exploiting vulnerable people would become her signature method. The boarding house. By the 1980s, Dorothea Puente had settled in Sacramento and opened a boarding house. The house appeared inviting, well-kept, clean, and welcoming to the elderly, mentally ill, or disabled individuals who had nowhere else to go. She charged modest rents and promised a caring environment. Local social workers and neighbors praised her for taking in those who were often ignored by society. But the reality was far darker. Method of murder. Dorothea's method was meticulous and chilling. She often administered sedatives or other drugs to her tenants, rendering them helpless. Some were simply smothered or left unattended until they died. After each murder, Dorothea collected the deceased tenants' Social Security checks, insurance, or any property they left behind. She manipulated the system to make it appear as if her tenants had passed away from natural causes. Her cunning lay in her ability to maintain the appearance of a caring landlady while simultaneously exploiting her tenants' vulnerability for profit. Discovery of the crimes. For years, Dorothea Puente's crimes went unnoticed. Neighbors were unaware, and the authorities had no reason to suspect foul play. But in 1988, her crimes began to unravel. Suspicion arose when one of her tenants, Stanley Walker, was found dead under mysterious circumstances. During a routine investigation, authorities discovered several bodies buried in her backyard, some under the patio and others in flower pots. The search revealed 9 bodies, all tenants of her boarding house. Some of the victims had been dead for years, yet Dorothea had continued to cash their checks. Arrest and trial. Dorothea Puente was arrested in 1988. During the trial, the prosecution detailed the shocking crimes: murder for financial gain, exploitation of the vulnerable, and a carefully constructed facade of kindness. The courtroom was filled with horror as neighbors and relatives realized how someone they trusted could commit such acts. The media dubbed her the Granny Killer, reflecting the shocking contrast between her grandmotherly appearance and her lethal actions. During the trial, Dorothea displayed a calm, sometimes manipulative demeanor. She tried to plead insanity, but the evidence was overwhelming. Witnesses described her as controlling and deceptive, and forensic evidence tied her directly to the murders. Conviction in 1993. Dorothea Puente was convicted of 3 murders, though authorities suspected her involvement in several others. She received life sentences without parole. Her conviction shocked the nation, highlighting how greed and manipulation can turn someone into a predator, even under the guise of kindness. Psychological profile experts studying Dorothea Puente described her as a psychopathic manipulator. She lacked empathy, viewed people as objects for personal gain, and was highly intelligent in planning her crimes. Unlike some serial killers driven by rage or sexual motives, Dorothea's killings were financially motivated. Her crimes were premeditated and calculated, making her particularly dangerous because of her ability to hide her intentions behind a facade of normalcy. She also demonstrated traits of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, similar to other notorious female killers, where a caregiver exploits those under their care for personal gain, though in Dorothea's case, the motive was largely financial rather than attention-seeking. Public reaction to Dorothea Puente's crimes was a mix of horror and fascination. How could a woman who appeared sweet, caring, and grandmotherly commit such heinous acts? Her case also raised questions about the vulnerability of the elderly and disabled in society. Many argued that the system had failed to protect those most in need, and that community awareness could have prevented these deaths. Legacy of the cacique. Dorothea Puente case remains one of the most infamous in American history for several reasons. Exploitation of the vulnerable. Her victims were elderly, mentally ill, or disabled, relying entirely on her for care. Financially motivated murders, unlike other killers. Her motive was greed rather than revenge or psychological compulsion. Cunning deception. Dorothea maintained a facade of care and normalcy while committing multiple murders. Her boarding house became a symbol of how trust can be manipulated by those with sinister intentions. Dorothea Puente's story is a chilling reminder that evil can hide behind a kind smile and a welcoming home. She exploited the trust of those who depended on her, and her crimes went undetected for years because of her careful planning and manipulation. So let me ask you, do you think people like Dorothea can truly change, or are they always a threat to society? Comment your thoughts below. If you found this story as shocking and eye-opening as we did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that reveals the dark side of human nature.